Get your bags ready because you're about to want to go on a trip to Barcelona. We just took our vacation there and had the most amazing time. We have so many things to tell you. I am going to go through my day-to-day, where we stayed, what we did. Now, if you are interested in taking a trip to Barcelona, please reach out and check out bestadventurespots.com or give us a call with the number on the screen. We'd love to help you book your trip. If you're not looking to book and you're really just here to watch this amazing video, if you like this content, give us a like and subscribe at the end of the video. Now let's jump right on in. First, we got in at probably 8 a.m. local time to Barcelona, got to our hotel a little bit later. We walk into the Hotel Arts, and I cannot stress how absolutely wonderful it was to be greeted where you walk in and they're like, would you like a coffee, espresso, or a glass of wine, or tea? And immediately I was like, I would love a cup of espresso, because there's nothing like, you've just gotten over a flight that's an overnight flight. You're tired. I don't sleep on flights very well, even though we got the best amount of space. Still, to be greeted like that when you walk into a resort, it just immediately helps you out. And then getting up to our room where we have a view that's well above and we get to see the water, it just immediately washes away the stress of just having done an overnight. So what did we do? We showered and said, we're still going to pull an all-nighter because we know we need to get used to the local time zone. So we went straight to sightseeing. Went to the Gothic Quarter, explored that area, went to the Arc de Triomf and to the Barcelona Cathedral. Enjoyed just kind of walking around, grabbing some bites here and there, exploring the area. Right back out, grabbed some cocktails at a couple bars that we would highly recommend. And then we went and grabbed dinner. And I will say that if there's a dinner spot in town, it is where we went that night. Not going to tell you. You got to reach out for that kind of information. Next day, we woke up. I got to say, the breakfast at the Hotel Arts is second in. I mean, we got juice bar. They had an amazing buffet spread. They had a whole bunch of food. You just couldn't. There's so much to try and enjoy. We then were transferred to our next resort, which was the Intercontinental. Greeted wonderfully. They were very friendly. It's a very bright place. They had a convention going on, so it was a little bit busier. Got checked in and went straight to Poble, Espanyol. I will say that this park we went to, it was middle of the day, and when we went, it was very rainy. It was just happens to be that we were in March, so it was a little bit rainier than normal. We still went through and explored everything, so we don't have too many photos of this area. I will say, if I was to give some advice on this, I would go there at night, not as much during the day like we did, unless you have kids. So I'm going to put that little caveat in there. They have a whole area for kids to go outside and play. So as long as it's not rainy, I would advise kids, great for a day trip. Adults, at night, and when we were there, we could see they were setting up for some live music, some entertainment. They were going to do almost like a huge fiesta over there. And so we kind of felt like we missed out on that experience. So maybe my advice would be to not do what we did and do it at night instead of during the day. After that, we went to Montjuïc Castle. And I will say this was a really cool experience. For us, it was very foggy that day, so unfortunately we didn't get to enjoy the views. From there, you could see the views of the city. You could really get a great sense of their garden. But for us, we weren't able to get quite that. In fact, it was so foggy that we were in the garden and we were trying to walk up to find the castle. It was so foggy we couldn't see the castle at the top of the hill. So when we got dropped off, we went exploring until we found the castle. From there, we went back and enjoyed the spa at the resort. Hung out at what was by far the largest whiskey collection in all of Barcelona, which is at Gibra Bar, which is there at the Hotel Intercontinental. I will say some of the unique pieces, if you are a cocktail somebody who seeks them out, they have them aged in clay jars, and they have some aged in barrels. So kind of a cool experience to try that aged. For dinner that night, we enjoyed the actual on-site Curat, which is a Michelin star restaurant. Absolutely loved it. Beautiful food, great combination. And then the rest of the night, well, you have to reach out to find out where else we went. The next day, we went on a number of tours. So we did the Gaudí tour. And I cannot stress enough that you absolutely must get a guide. We did a small tour guide, so I think our group had maybe 8 people tops, and it included Casa Boteo, Família, Parc Güell, and Sagrada Família. We would have missed so much information had we not actually had somebody sitting there telling us through our Bluetooth headset everything that we were looking at. Why certain material was chosen for Casa Boteo, why the design of the building looked the way it was, why Família, why Parc Güell has so many different influences architecturally, why the Sagrada Família still isn't finished to this day. We also learned just the different elements in Sagrada Família. When you get over there and you can see this and you hear from your guide why certain statues are there. I'm not going to give you the spoiler alert, but there's a reason why statues are the way that they are and the stories that they're telling. Now, from there, we also grabbed lunch near the Sagrada Família, and we stayed near that area and kind of hung out. I will say we grabbed lunch at a spot where it was all hanging meats. It's shaved right there for your lunch. Absolutely recommend it. On top of that, we went and explored some bars, some speakeasies, had some dinner in that area. Again, not going to give away all of the things that we did. If you're interested, please reach out. Our next day and kind of our final full day in town, tour to Montserrat. In Montserrat, it's a beautiful little town that kind of sits in the mountains. And you have, like, it feels like it's carved out of the mountain, and you have the cathedral that you get to walk through and listen to your guide tell you about the cathedral. You hear about the city. You experience when you walk up, there are vendors, not vendors, but tents all along selling cheeses. And you have little shops. And I will say that we spent a lot of time there. I think we spent maybe 4 hours, which was too much time, believe it or not. We had enough time that we were able to go for a hike up one of the hills and back down. Then from there, the tour takes us to do a wine tasting, which was really cool because the actual vineyard is a castle that's been turned into a vineyard. So the family that used to live there had a castle. They said, okay, we're not doing any more wars. This was many, many years ago, and turn it into a whole experience where you get the vineyard, you get to drink the wine inside of the castle in this room full of barrels, and it just the wine itself, it's a beautiful wine. Absolutely loved it. We totally brought back a number of bottles, and I will say that you're not going to find it basically anywhere, because they very rarely distribute, and where they distribute is just a few restaurants in Spain. Then we went back, we went and checked out a few more restaurants not too far from the Hotel Intercontinental, which is very close to the airport, and that concludes our trip. Now, if you're looking to book a trip to Spain, I've covered a very high level of what you could possibly do. Please reach out. If you found this entertaining, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and be ready because we're about to do a whole lot more content. And have a great rest of your day.